On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Crazy stuff is happening with the CR resolution. We'll see. The vote's supposed to happen tonight. I don't think it's happened yet, at least as of the time of recording. We'll see. It's, again, supposed to happen after this video comes out. Looks like Johnson's going to be trying to do the right things. Looks like Trump's influence and, get this, Elon Musk. Musk is pissing off everybody in the mainstream media, freaking them out. Musk tweeted something, and immediately things started to happen. Trump's agreeing they're on the same page, so it's not like Musk is running the show, but then, of course, there's a whole lot of people that are trying to claim that Trump's just a puppeteer of Musk. Oh, this is so much fun. This is crazy. Deep state's freaking out. Government might shut down. We'll see how this plays out, but it looks like they might be cornering the Democrats into making the decision to shut down the government, not the other way around. But, of course, Hakeem Jeffries is trying to make it sound like we're against cancer prevention for children if we don't pass this budget. The budget was a 1,500-page omnibus, basically. It's now 116 pages or something. Much smaller. We're going to talk about all this stuff. I got a lot of show to cover. I'm sure it's going to be a bit of a long one today. It's what happens when I take time off. Also got an awesome music show that's going to be coming up shortly after this video is posted. Hopefully you guys come check it out. I got a lot of really good music going to be playing today. Some good classic 70s rock and just good stuff. Some Chicago in there. I love Chicago. It's going to be a lot of fun. All said, let's get into it. Let's rock and roll. Oh, cool. I brought this over. So this is, I don't know, it's funny. Pentagon, right? Pentagon. You would assume, because a lot of us talk about the Pentagon and how, they're the military, right? And they're in charge of the military. Well, they don't even know what the hell's going on, the Pentagon. Here's an example of it.
As you know, we have been briefing you regularly that there are approximately 900 U.S. troops deployed to Syria. In light of the situation in Syria and the significant interest, we recently learned that those numbers were higher. And so asked to look into it. I learned today that, in fact, there are approximately 2,000 U.S. troops in Syria. As I understand it, as it was explained to me, these additional forces are considered temporary rotational forces that deploy to meet shifting mission requirements, whereas the core 900 deployers are on longer-term deployments. And as you know, for many of our deployments, numbers will fluctuate from time to time, but given that this number is significantly higher than what we've been briefing, I wanted to let you know as soon as I found out this information.
Yeah, that essentially, we don't know what the hell we're talking about. And by the way, dude, I feel bad for you. Is it Mr. Ryder, or Sir Ryder? I think that cleft in your chin's like metastasizing to the middle of your forehead. What's going on? Between your eyes, you got two clefts. You got one on your chin, you got two up there. What's going on, man? I don't know. I'm worried about him. He doesn't know what's going on, and he's got mutating clefts happening. Look, it's a crazy world that we're talking about here. U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, for all the people that like to sound cool, they conducted a precision airstrike in Syria's Deir ez-Zor province. Sure, I'm saying that right. Killing ISIS leader Abu Yusuf and another operative as a U.S. diplomatic delegation visited Damascus for the first time ever in over a decade. Delegation met with Syria's new leadership, including Abu Mohammed al-Jolani, the leader of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, stoked on these words. Despite the U.S. government having designated HTS a terrorist organization with a $10 million bounty on al-Jolani, listing him as a terrorist, which would make sense why he was on the terrorist hit list. So not that these are directly related. I felt that these are an interesting place to put them side by side. Apparently, Kamala Harris was planning on going out to California, probably for the holidays. Biden was planning on sticking around up in Delaware for the holidays. Both of them have canceled those plans and have come back to the White House. One should be asking why. Certainly, it's a good question. Don't have an answer for you. Something's up. Something's very up. We got stuff happening. Deep State does not want to let go, and they are losing control. They are not pulling off the things they thought they were going to pull off to protect themselves prior to Trump taking office. It's not looking like that at all, in fact. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy, recently appointed co-leader of the newly created U.S. Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, he has had his Twitter account hacked, causing a wave of confusion. There's basically, I think he started talking about stablecoin, and that's not something he typically talks about or is, I think, fond of. So people realized, crap, he's been hacked, and a lot of people were questioning this can't be Vivek because he doesn't talk like this. So one, awesome. A lot of people know Vivek very well, it seems, and give credit where credit's due. I like that. You got to sometimes assume the best in people, and then when things come up or pop up that make you question that, then step back for a second and be like, all right, am I missing something here? Because I like this person 99% of the time. They're on it. It's 1% of the time. Some weird stuff said, maybe we're misunderstanding it. It's always possible. So case was Vivek had his Twitter account or X account hacked. It has since been fixed. Federal Reserve, they cut interest rates. Again, even though inflation's still happening. Inflation was up again, like the last measurements of it, a little higher than it was supposed to be, not super high yet. But they are, again, incrementing things that are definitely working against the Trump administration. Chairman Powell raising or lowering the interest rate. I'm sorry. Did he lower? Yeah, cut the interest rate by 0.25%, which I've been expecting. I've been talking about. Not a big surprise for anybody that's been watching. Now, I also want to point out this funny little thing. So when we look at Dow Jones today, or at least in the last 12 hours or so, it's like, it's up a bunch, Gian. Why do you keep talking trash about the Dow Jones? Well, Dow Jones has had a really tough week. We're going to go out a month because 5 days I don't feel is long enough. Here's the month graph. Dow Jones peaked, back on December 4th. Peaked. And has just been going down and down and down and then big time down and then flattened and up a little bit. But it's gone down a bunch. Things are happening, folks. I know a lot of people are like, Trump's coming in office. There's nothing to worry about. I don't agree with that. This is my crazy opinions, not my good friends at Goldco. Their opinions are all about legally helping you get out of your 401k or your IRA tax-free and penalty-free. That's what Goldco does, and they do it better than anybody. They do it amazingly well. Their customer service is outstanding. It's bar none. And they've also got a sweet deal going on right now where 10% of the face value of your 401k, up to 10% of your face value of 401k or your IRA, up to 10% of that face value, free silver. So if you got a $100,000 policy, up to $10,000 in free silver just for protecting your wealth. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get your wealth protection kit. Learn about it. We've got a gold and silver kit. It's 2025 version. It's outstanding. It's full of information, and it lets you know how you can protect your wealth and get out of their system. Tax-free, penalty-free. If you cash out your 401k, one, you're cashing into cash. Bad idea. Inflation's eating the value out of that every day. Unless you're hurting for money, not a good idea for your retirement, your nest egg. So you don't want to move it into cash. That's a bad idea. And you take penalties and taxes if you cashed out anyway. What you can do is move it sideways into precious metals, tax-free, penalty-free, and precious metals are spiking right now because of the craziness that's happening. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system while you can. While you still got money, while inflation hasn't eaten away the value of your retirement, get out while you can and get while the prices of gold and silver are lower than they're going to be tomorrow. That's one of the other problems with this. The spikes are happening. You want to get in while the spike is still happening, not once it's done. And once it's done is probably once the economy's kind of hit the low point. And that's where, who knows? We don't know. Don't have a crystal ball. Mine doesn't work. My magic 8-ball sucks. I don't know what to tell you. But I do know this, drslikesgold.com, you can get out of their system. drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com, get out of their system before they get out of you. All right, we got a bunch of stuff on the CR, continuing resolution, and we got this national NDAA thing that happened. So let's get into the CR first. First off, Vivek, this is pretty cool, and I love this dude. The fact that he read 1,500 pages, like, damn. I put aside the 116-page thing. I'm hoping to read through it. This dude read 1,500 pages. That's pretty awesome. But he said, I wanted to read the full 1,500-plus page bill and speak with key leaders before forming an opinion. Having done that, here's my view. It's full of excessive spending, special interest giveaways, and pork barrel politics. If Congress wants to get serious about government efficiency, they should vote no. Keeping the government open until March 14th will cost $380 billion by itself. But the true cost of the omnibus CR is far greater due to the new spending. Renewing the Farm Bill for an extra year, $130 billion. Disaster relief, $100 billion. Stimulus for farmers, $10 billion. The Francis Scott Key Bridge replacement, $8 billion. The proposal adds at least 65 cents of new spending for every dollar of continued discretionary spending. The legislation will end up hurting many of the people it purports to help. Debt-fueled spending sprees may feel good today, but it's like showering cocaine on an addict. It's not compassion, it's cruelty. Farmers will see more land sold to foreign buyers when taxes inevitably rise to meet our obligations. Our children will be saddled with crippling debt. Interest payments will be the largest item in our national budget. Congress has known about this deadline since they created it in late September. There's no reason why this couldn't have gone through the standard process instead of being rushed to a vote right before congressmen want to go home for the holidays, which is what they always do. The urgency is 100% manufactured and designed to avoid serious public debate. The bill could have easily been under 20 pages. Instead, there are dozens of unrelated policy items crammed into the 1,547 pages of this bill. There's no legitimate reason for them to be voted on as a package deal by a lame duck Congress. 72 pages worth of pandemic preparedness and response policy, renewal of much criticized Global Engagement Center, a key player in the federal censorship state, 17 different pieces of commerce legislation, paving the way for a new football stadium in D.C., a pay raise for congressmen and senators, and making them eligible for federal employee health benefits. It's indefensible to ram these measures through at the last second without debate. We're grateful for Doge's warm reception on Capitol Hill. Nearly everyone agrees we need a smaller and more streamlined federal government, but actions speak louder than words. Now, some of the other things that people have kind of dug out of this that need to be pointed out, and this thing's not happening, okay? This part's been kicked to the curb, at least, and they're blaming Musk, and mostly. But this is what the CR bill does. So here's some of the stuff. Allows vaccines and mask mandates. Vaccine passports. Newly defines national emergency, think climate. Expanded emergency powers, gain-of-function research, at least 12 regional biolabs, diverts approximately $200 billion from Social Security. Oh, my God. Parents investigating or subpoenaing Congress, or prevents, investigating or subpoenaing Congress, gives Congress a $70,000 raise a year. Average wage in this country is $62,000. They're giving themselves a raise that's equivalent to larger than the average wage in this country for the people that are mostly hated. It allows Congress to get off the Obamacare. It redefines national emergencies, climate change, Global Engagement Center, silencing free speech, Bill Gates' mosquito abatement funding, and Global Engagement Center, suppressing speech. That's just what we know about. Also, Jesse Waters pointed these parts out. What's in the new monster bill Congress is rushing to pass? $850,000 for a gay senior home, $15 million to pay for Egyptian college tuitions, $400,000 for a gay activist group to teach elementary kids about being trans, $500,000 for a DEI zoo, $400,000 for a group to give clothes to teens to help them hide their gender. Just wasting money because they want to, and it's part of their little agenda, right? So not good, obviously. So Elon Musk puts this out, and this is what's got everyone pissed off at him because it seemed to have worked. Elon Musk said any member of the House or Senate who votes for this outrageous spending bill deserves to be voted out in 2 years. Interesting, it says 2 years. It's obviously for the House. Senate's not quite like that, but who knows? So Elon Musk posted this: unless Doge ends the careers of deceitful pork barrel politicians, the waste and corruption will never stop. Therefore, there is no choice but to do so. I wish there was another way, but there is not. And we got to get these bad people out of there. So an unpopular Congress that failed to cut big spending tries to give itself a year-end pay raise, huh? 70 grand. More than a lot of you guys make. So Elon Musk even points out they're funding biolabs in this bill. I think there was 12 of them. 12 regional containment laboratories for the purpose of conducting biomedical research. aka leaking viruses to the American people, probably. Anyway, we don't know for sure. Don't know for sure. Lawrence Jones posted this. I just spoke with the president-elect at Real Donald Trump, and he is totally against the proposed CR. Makes sense. Wouldn't expect him to be for it, that's for sure. So Trump posted this. Truth this, I guess. Sounds like the ridiculous and extraordinarily expensive continuing resolution plus is dying fast. But can anyone imagine passing it without either terminating or extending the debt ceiling guillotine coming up in June? Unless the Democrats terminate or substantially extend debt ceiling now, I will fight till the end. This is a nasty trap set in place by the radical left Democrats. They are looking to embarrass us in June when it comes up for a vote. The people that extended it from September 28th to June 1st should be ashamed of themselves. It was political malpractice. Also, the Communist Global Engagement Center, a project of crooked Hillary Clinton, should not in any way, shape, or form be extended, and the shielding of the very corrupt J6 Unselect Committee of political losers and thugs would be suicidal for any Republican approving it. Likewise, this is not a good time for Congress to be asking for pay increases. Hopefully, you'll be entitled to such an increase in the near future when we make America great again. Kind of good words. Good way to call it. J.D. Vance posted this. A statement from President Donald J. Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. The most foolish and inept things ever done by congressional Republicans was allowing our country to hit the debt ceiling in 2025. It was a mistake, and it's now something that we must be addressed. Meanwhile, Congress is considering a spending bill that would give sweetheart provisions for government censors and for Liz Cheney. The bill would make it easier to hide the records of the corrupt January 6th committee, which accomplished nothing for the American people and hid security failures that happened that day. This bill would also give Congress a pay increase while many Americans are struggling for Christmas. Increasing the debt ceiling is not great, but we'd rather do it on Biden's watch. If Democrats won't cooperate on the debt ceiling now, what makes anyone think they would do it in June during our administration? Let's have this debate now, and we should pass a streamlined spending bill that doesn't give Chuck Schumer and the Democrats everything they want. Republicans want to support our farmers, pay for disaster relief, and set our country up for success in 2025. The only way to do that is with a temporary funding bill without Democrat giveaways, combined with an increase in the debt ceiling. Anything else is a betrayal of our country. Republicans must get smart and tough. If Democrats threaten to shut down the government unless we give them everything they want, then call their bluff. It is Schumer and Biden who are holding up aid to our farmers and disaster relief. This chaos would not be happening if we had a real president. We will in 32 days. Johnson weighs spending plan B as Elon Musk stokes opposition. So really, ultimately, what they're talking about is breaking it into a couple small, clean CRs. Make them vote on the individual pieces and see what they do. We'll see how that plays out. He's talking about dropping $100 billion in disaster aid plus other attachments and instead passing a clean CR. Then dealing with the other issues in a new year, according to Republicans with knowledge of the conversation. In addition to disaster aid, that would mean dropping $30 billion for farmers and a one-year extension of the Farm Bill, along with other items, at least for now. Johnson has not made a final decision, but if he shifts strategies, it would be a boon for his right flank, which has railed publicly against the current spending bill and revived a dormant threat to Johnson's speakership, which they've done as well. So we'll see. He's going to try to break it up. They're supposed to be voting on that literally tonight, Friday night. Donald Trump Jr. posted this. We aren't just the media here now. We are also the government. We finally have the ability to assess information rapidly and pressure our representatives to act in a manner that actually represents what we want. They can't hide and do the bidding of the swamp oligarchs anymore. Amen. Now here, again, is Hakeem Jeffries talking about how this bipartisan thing was destroyed by Elon Musk and his wicked ways.
Men and women.
Kind of funny. I didn't want to play it because I can't stand listening to him talk, but he actually sounds faster than normal. Versus that one video I did where I couldn't frickin' stand his slowness. It's like, good God, dude, finish your damn sentence already.
House Democrats, House Republicans, Senate Democrats, and Senate Republicans reached a bipartisan agreement to fund the government, prevent a shutdown, and meet the needs of the American people. we reached a bipartisan agreement that will help farmers, families, the future of working class Americans, children, seniors, veterans, and the men and women in uniform all across the nation and the world. That bipartisan agreement has now been detonated because House Republicans have been ordered to shut down the government and hurt the very working class Americans that many of them pretend to want to help.
Normally talking with your hands actually speeds you up a little bit, but not you, Hakeem. No. Mr. Jeffries, you don't. Makes you slower, it seems. I don't know what's going on with you. Senator Rand Paul floated the idea of Elon Musk replacing Mike Johnson as House Speaker next year as a potential partial government shutdown looms. Interesting choice because it doesn't have to be a member of Congress who's Speaker of the House. Anybody could be voted in. That's why they were talking about Trump at one point. You guys remember that a few years back? Or a couple years back? Whichever. This is powerful information. Not that it's necessarily going to happen, but it's a neat thought or neat threat, maybe? We'll see. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted this. Would you support Elon Musk for Speaker of the House? She had 98,000 votes. 78.9% of it was yes. 21.1% was no. Personally, I like Speaker Johnson. But I think having Elon Musk at the helm would be a different thing because he's not beholden, but beholden, I should say. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think he'd be able to bring bipartisan support. Elon Musk is kind of more of a, it's my way or the highway, right? Like if you suck, you're out. And that's not necessarily how Congress currently works. I mean, maybe it should. I don't disagree with that, but Fox News has learned that President-elect Donald Trump has been in secret talks with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. I didn't believe this story at first, but it seems reasonably possible, I guess, at least the way they're playing it out. But President Trump has been engaged in this for a long time. The idea that he just came out, the reason why he came out is because of Schumer pulled away from the deal that we had been speaking to him about. So the president has been engaged in this for weeks. The debt limit isn't new, but we're trying to keep it away from you guys, Mullen said off camera. President Trump is very clear he wants a debt limit increase in this. He's not wrong, because Schumer is going to try to hold him hostage. We had preliminarily worked on a deal that we thought was right, and Schumer walked away from it because he wants a negotiating deal. That's the debt limit. He wants Trump to be held to the debt limit, or else basically he has to give them concessions, or else he doesn't get the debt level increase. And then if the government shuts down on his watch, it looks bad on him. But if the government shuts down now, well, it looks bad on Democrats, or on Biden specifically. So President Trump is very clear he wants a debt limit increase. Not wrong. He's working this deal. He thinks Schumer wants to hold American people hostage over a funding bill because he wants to leverage next year. That's not a good position for him to be in. So we'll see how that continues to play out. It's going to be interesting. That was fun. Oops. Oopsie. So the very unpopular congressman from Texas, this is President Trump that posted this. The very unpopular congressman from Texas, Chip Roy, is getting in the way, as usual, of having yet another great Republican victory, all for the sake of some cheap publicity for himself. Republican obstructionists have to be done away with. The Democrats are using them, and we can't let that happen. Our country is far better off closing up for a period of time than it is agreeing to the things that the Democrats want to force upon us. Biden is president, and it's his obligation to properly lead. We're there to do the right thing, and we can't agree with what Biden and the Democrats are demanding. Weak and ineffective people like Chip have been dismissed as being utterly unknowledgeable as to the ways of politics and as to making America great again. Put America first and go for the victory, even if it means shutting the government down for a period of time. We had an overwhelming victory just 4 weeks ago, and we're not going to let the Democrats forget it so quickly. Chip Roy is another ambitious guy with no talent. And by the way, how's Bob Good doing? I hope some talented challengers are getting ready in the great state of Texas to go after Chip in the primary. He won't have a chance. Trump is very much threatening him, and I think effectively so. Here's a fun little piece where Chip is called out and like, here's what Trump's saying about you. His response was interesting. He was wise not to attack Trump because that's an instant you're toast. We'll see.
So Trump is saying you're getting in the way of a Republican victory for cheap publicity. What's your reaction to that?
I've been able to read. All we're doing is trying to talk about how to get a deal done so we can actually cut spending.
Do you plan to talk to him to smooth things over?
I don't even know what we're talking about. I got to look at whatever was put out there. But I know we've
weak
been
and
having a
ineffective
conversation.
people like Chip have been dismissed as utterly unknowledgeable as to the ways of politics and as to making America great again. Put America first and go for victory.
We're working right now on how to actually cut spending, which is what the voters sent me to Washington to do. So that's what we're working on.
Yeah, but that continuing resolution didn't do that, Chip, at all. Not even close. In fact, it enhanced spending a lot, Chip. Chip needs to go bye-bye. Which, by the way, it reminds me of, there's a great place in the Phoenix airport. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. I want to say it's called Queso Blanco. Oh, my God. They have the best queso. Oh, I was there yesterday with the girlfriend, flying back home. And, I'm like, the drink for me. She wants an orange juice and because she never drinks. And then I'm like, let's get some of them chips and queso. My girlfriend was even like, these are good. I'm like, damn straight, girl. I know what's up. Anna Paulina Luna put this out. Yes, the president was instrumental in brokering the deal, the art of the deal. Yeah, he's playing a big part in what's going on behind the scenes. So this is GOP CR deal. 3-month CR, clean farm, 2-year suspension of debt, same disaster package, clean health extenders, take out PBM reform, no E15. Vote tonight in the House. Not surprisingly, Chip Roy just called this a bad deal on Sean Hannity's radio show. Today is kicking the can down the road and racking up more debt, and I agree with it, Roy says. Oh, man. Chip Roy, you're a bad man. You're going to lose. You're going to lose badly, dude. Anybody that steps out of the MAGA line right now, anybody. You don't care about America first, and you're too worried about other stupid stuff that sounds very deep state-esque to any of us at all. Even if we're wrong, it won't matter. You're toast. You're ruined. I, and many like me, are the media now. You can talk to Sean Hannity all you want, Chip Roy. We're not going to give you a pass on this side of the fence, ever. So you either get on board or GTFO. Or GTFOA, get the F out of the way. Whatever. Bunch of extra letters that I probably didn't put in there. Should have. Yeah. So here is a visual of the new bill. 116 pages versus 1,540, whatever the hell. Looks a little different, huh? You still can't put a staple through that bitch, but definitely not stapling the other guy, right? I actually just have to do stuff like that. I worked in the mortgage industry. They were never quite that big, but definitely some big-ass mortgages that I've dealt with in my life. Like, holy crap, what is up with these people? Rep. Clay Higgins put this out. Congress should now move a clean CR through March 14th that raises the debt ceiling by $1.7 trillion and keeps PAYGO intact as $1.7 trillion, which will offset any increase in spending. This bill should be moved in tandem with disaster relief and a clean 1-year extension of the Farm Bill. I'm working with conservative members to put forth a solution that all Republicans can support. Powerful stuff. We're coming together, folks. This is kind of cool. It's the one thing the Republicans have done a shit job of for, well, ever. The entire time we've ever done anything. Kind of cool. Anna Paulina Luna. The mask is off. Democrats want crazy CR with pork, or they will shut government down. We'll be voting again soon. More to come. Right? Like, I mean, come on. What crazy shit's going? We got the big vote coming tonight, guys. I don't know if I hit it or not. Let's see if I got it. Yeah, cool. Here's another shutdown. Johnson's being talked or asked questions to. Let's hear his short response.
How are you going to vote today? Yeah, we're expecting votes this morning, so y'all stay tuned. We got a plan.
You've reached a new agreement?
We'll see.
So, not a lot.
Sir, how do you feel? You're live on Fox. Do you feel good about this?
I don't know what we're going to do.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You were very effective there, whatever your name is, lady in Capitol Hill. Pretty, but yeah, no idea what. Not well done. Not well done. Like maybe get a little bra showing or something. I don't know. I might talk to you more. I'm just saying. I don't know. Might not work, but it does for me. Maybe got bra showing. I'm like, oh, hey, let's chat for a second. Jake Sherman said, hey, we'll hear that House Republicans are likely to split the bill in pieces. Hold votes on different titles in the bill. CR, debt limit, ag, disaster relief. This would allow each piece to pass or fail on its own merits. This would be world shifting, wouldn't it? such a strange place that we're actually coming to in our lives right now, where we can actually just vote on things individually and not these giant 500,000 page omnibus bills. Redonkulous. This is fun. CNN and this, whoever this dude is, he's starting to, Scott Jennings, I guess is his name. He is having a hard time with a couple of the people on CNN. And especially in this particular episode, because I think I got 2 clips of her and him. Like, he just keeps calling her out for being an idiot. And she is, really helpful in demonstrating her idiocracy. So, I mean, you gotta love it.
If he gives information to people that they didn't previously have, or some transparency into our government, and they act on it, is that necessarily a bad thing? I might offer that.
I think that's a great idea.
You think Elon Musk is actually telling people things that they couldn't find out, except for Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is doing this to gin up people, to call their congressman or congresswoman and tell them to vote against something Elon Musk doesn't want them to vote for because it doesn't directly benefit Elon Musk. Let's be very clear. He's not here.
How do you know that?
He's not. How do I know that? Because look at this bill.
You're making an allegation. It's a serious allegation. I mean, you're essentially alleging corruption.
I'm not. No, first of all, I'm not alleging corruption. I'm alleging that Elon Musk has a particular interest in seeing certain things happen that benefit Elon Musk's business. And that's a fact. He's a businessman. He's not here as a staffer. If you were a staffer, if you were working on the Hill, then he should go work on the Hill. Doge is not, he's purposely not going into the government because then he'd have to show a lot more information about himself than he and Vivek Ramaswamy want to. So now they're just advisors. They're unpaid advisors. And for that reason, Elon Musk is puppeteering Donald Trump and every other member of Congress that he wants to, and every other member of Congress that he wants to benefit Elon Musk.
I'm not sure Trump is doing anything to dissuade people
in October.
Position.
In October, the principal Democratic argument was Donald Trump is going to be a dictator, and today it's Donald Trump is just being puppeteered by other people.
Well, you could be
Which
both.
is
You
it?
could be both. Well, you could be both.
What idiots? No, you can't be both. You can't be a dictator and puppeted by somebody else. No, you can't. It's one or the other. Take your pick. You guys are idiots on CNN. I don't know why that Jennings guy is there, but it's working out. So, yeah, here's Hakeem Jeffries telling us that Trump or the CR bills, they don't care about kids with cancer. So ridiculous, but this is totally how they roll. Again, we're the media now. F this fucker.
Extreme MAGA Republicans are marching America to a painful government shutdown that will crash the economy and hurt working class Americans because they would rather enact massive tax cuts for their billionaire donors than fund cancer research for children.
I love that. Like, they would rather kill every child on the streets than actually pass this giant omnibus bill. You're an idiot, Hakeem Jeffries. And you sound like one when you talk. I mean, maybe you're brilliant. I don't know, but I can't freaking stand listening to you talk. I had to play those 2 clips, so I can't help it. Senate Republicans tried to fast-track emergency military pay as they brace for the shutdown, trying to make sure our men and women in uniform get paid. It's awesome. We'd like that, right? Especially considering they're protecting our country and our freedoms. 3 Senate sources confirmed Fox News Digital that Senator Dan Sullivan, Republican from Alaska, is leading an attempt to hotline a bill that makes sure all armed services and the Coast Guard are paid in the event of a partial government shutdown. Now, of course, Alaska's got a crap ton of Coast Guard and quite a military presence. We've got quite a fighter wing up there that is meant to dissuade Soviet bombers from getting too terribly close to Alaska. I believe we've even got some F-22s up there, if I remember correctly. So we've got some pretty solid stuff going on up there. So this guy's looking out for it. We got Murkowski, who's horrible, trying to jump on this because it makes her look good for half a second. But yeah, she's not worthy of any favors, that's for sure. So this criminal bill must not pass. This is the original. Oh, this is part of the CR. Okay, that was the global engagement. Yeah, this is part of the CR thing. Yeah, we already talked about that. Federal government is protecting the manufacturers of COVID-19 flu vaccines from product liability for another 5 years on the cusp of a new administration, likely to aggressively look for vaccine injuries and release its hidden books that Just the News once went to court to obtain. Didn't hear about it? That's because the Department of Health and Human Services does not appear to have told the public outside a December 11th Federal Register notice, primarily read by regulated entities, and a generic page buried deep within HHS's website. Outgoing Agency Secretary Xavier Becerra, He amended to the declaration under the Public Readiness and Emergency Preparedness Act for COVID-19 medical countermeasures, enacted 19 months after President Joe Biden formally ended the COVID public health emergency, gives perfunctory explanation for the liability shield's continuing necessity. I want to point all this out, and we're going to get there because it's over here where the push is. They're doing all this because there's a pandemic they're planning. There's definitely a pandemic they're planning, and it's going to be during Trump's administration, probably early on, will probably hurt the economy if they're able to do it. I don't think they're going to be able to. I think we're stopping them from having the things in place that they needed to be able to shut down the government. Plus, some other things have popped up that, well, makes them liable in some respects. We'll get that in a second. But Senate passes the NDAA, sending annual defense bill to Biden's desk in the nick of time. So the National Defense Authorization Act passed both houses. I don't know all the details in it. It passed pretty overwhelmingly in the Senate, 85 to 14. 3 Republicans and 11 Democrats caucus members voted against it, which is interesting. All said, it's been approved. A House, it went 281 to 140, which is, again, I don't know, pretty bipartisan. So we'll see. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer even admits it's not perfect. And again, he's talking about how they had to make concessions and get both people on both sides of the fence to kind of come together in a cool kind of way. So we'll see how that all plays out. Homan confirms what El Salvador president said about the migrant gangs vying for control on the U.S. border. He says they're literally satanic, and this is the dude, the El Salvador president right now. He says that, quote, they worship death. They've got statues there and memorabilia worshiping death. I got a video on my phone showing a member of the cartel skinning a man alive to send a message to anybody. If you push back on the cartels, they are not just going to kill you, they are going to make you suffer. We've got to save these kids, over 300,000. A lot of them are living life in hell every day. We are going to find some of these sex slavery. Some of them are going to be dead. President Trump made that a priority and is something that needs to be done. So yeah, those who tell you that it's cruel that Trump would stop an open border and deport illegals are missing this key component. It's about the children. It's about the drug trafficking, the weapons trafficking. It's about the people trafficking. It's all about that. It's not about, we don't want people in our country. No, I mean, we don't want just everybody in our country, especially criminals. Well, we are a nation of immigrants. Of course we are. Please. But it's people that want to be part of this country. I had a wonderful discussion with the housekeeper lady I have that comes in, house cleaner. That's probably a better way to put it. Not like she's here all the time. But she was talking, and she's not legal. She's got a visa, I believe, but she's not legal. And I was talking with her, and I'm like, it's like people like you that actually care about this country, like, that's awesome. And she does. She's all about this country. She loves this country. And so she's working on it. But at the same time, there's, I think, people that just don't care. And that's a big difference between immigration. Are you here just to suck off the teat of humanity? Or are you here to actually make America great? And if you're, for the latter, if you're here to make America great, come on down, man. Like, get Bob Barker back from the dead. Bring that bastard back. Bring back, come on down. Whatever that was. What's the Price is Right? That's right. Always makes me think of that dude, the yodeler, like yodeler, and he goes up and he eventually falls off. Anyway, there's some cool. That was actually a pretty cool game show, I gotta be honest. Humiliated Justin Trudeau frantically copies Trump as he tries to avoid being booted from office. Yeah, there's a lot of discussions that he is on his last leg. And so we'll see what happens. It's funny, is there's somebody on a platform that I follow on Telegram that has twice now reported, the same story, and they've reposted it like a week apart, and it's still incorrect. And it's a dude saying, based off the news, Justin Trudeau just resigned. This got shared over a week ago. I just saw it again from like yesterday or the day before. It still hasn't happened. So whoever the hell's posting stuff like that, you're an idiot. Stop it. Do a little research. You keep posting something that's not true. You're I would say a bastard. That's what I would say. This lady's distracting me, by the way. What is up with those? Anyway, right? Go figure. Feds raid Tendarawa, New York City. They found a house. And this even ties back to some of them bastards in Colorado. Yeah, crazy stuff going on. Here's Bill Hammer.
Men with suspected ties to that violent Venezuelan gang Tendarawa. The bust was reportedly made possible after police tracked an ankle monitor from a 28-year-old Venezuelan national with 3 prior arrests. Well, see if they got him. CB Cotton's live in New York with more. CB, what's the story? Hello.
Hi, Bill. Good morning. A law enforcement source tells me officers raided 2 separate locations here in the city, leading to the arrest of 22 suspected Tren de Aragua gang members. The New York Post, as you said, reports that officers tracked one of the suspect's ankle monitors to this apartment in the Bronx, being used as a hideout. The outlet reports some of the men had racked up multiple arrests in separate states after crossing the border. This bust comes after another raid in late November, which led to the arrest of these 2 confirmed Tren de Aragua gang members. ICE telling me at the time both of the men crossed illegally into the country last year and were wanted in Aurora, Colorado, when police say they and other armed men tried to break into an apartment, as seen on this viral video. This week, that same apartment complex made headlines again when a man and woman were pistol whipped and tortured there. ICE tells me at least 16 suspected gang members were taken into custody in connection with that incident this week. And back in April, Fox was there as federal agents busted 3 suspected Tren de Aragua gang members at this Bronx apartment. New York City Mayor Eric Adams met with incoming border czar Tom Homan just last week and say they're ready to work together to remove illegal migrants who commit violent crimes. Homan has also said he does not understand why more leaders are not on board.
I'm shocked at other mayors and other governors who want to, put roadblocks up. I can't believe any elected official does not want to remove public safety threats from their communities.
And as for these latest arrests here in the city, federal agencies tell us the investigation is ongoing.
Now, his thing is similar to like what Hakeem Jeffries did, except his is legit. He's like, I can't believe people wouldn't want to remove public threats, right? And then you got Hakeem that's like, I can't believe the Republicans wouldn't vote for something that helps give children cancer treatment. It's like, there's a whole bunch of other shit. How about the other 1,543 pages? Bro, I just want to say to you that sometimes I have to break every word into multiple, sounds, right? What the hell, dude? Come on. What is wrong with you, dude? You got to break everything down like that. It's not cool. It's not all right. Federal Aviation Administration issued a ban on drone operations in several areas in New Jersey until January 17th. I'm very curious about the 17th, but we've heard stories that there is a thing going on, and it's lasting about that long, and there's testing being done. So it kind of is interesting. Long story short, essentially, you have to file for a permit to be able to fly your drones above the city, above these areas. If you don't, they are going to utilize technologies to, they say, kill your drone, essentially. They will destroy your drone. They will kind of, fry it, EMP it, whatever they do. Your drone won't work anymore. It'll be considered what we'd call a waste of money. So, something to keep in mind. White House, a bunch of stuff with FJB. White House intentionally hid from the public Joe Biden's rapidly diminishing mental condition for his entire presidency, according to a bombshell report. Biden's team hired a vocal coach, put other officials into roles usually occupied by the president, scrapped meetings on his bad days, and avoided calls with other politicians, according to an explosive report in the Wall Street Journal, which is one of their rags, by the way. It exposed an extensive and deliberate cover-up that also saw the administration gaslighting those who dared to claim that Biden's abilities had deteriorated since he was Barack Obama's vice president. Long story short, they were making a bunch of crap up. In the wake of Trump's win, Biden's State Department issued internal DEI cable touting reflection rooms and all-gender restrooms at U.S. embassies. This will almost immediately be changed, I'm sure, once Trump's in office, but once again, another example of how the Biden administration was an absolute and total utter waste, doing nothing to try to help forward our country, but in fact was more worried about forwarding the agenda of the deep state. There you go. The Biden administration is canceling another $4.28 billion in student loan relief for about 54,900 borrowers who work in public services, the White House announced on Friday. So far, 100% of everything that Biden's tried to do when it comes to giving away debt or canceling debt has been fought, and he's lost. So this is not going to go through, but of course, he's trying his best to destroy this country, as much damage as possible on his way out the door. Biden administration's going to announce in the coming days its final Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative package using, I'm doing finger quotes and stuff, I don't even have a camera on, it's funny as hell, but they're going to be using remaining funds to set aside to buy new weapons for Ukraine, according to two sources familiar with the matter. So again, they're trying to spend money like it's going out of style, right? It's not good. The package is going to be worth about $1.2 billion, said sources. I don't know if it passes. I don't know how this works. I don't know how much money he's got available that he can spend without getting congressional approval, and that's probably not going to happen very well. So we'll see how it plays out. A horde of well-dressed illegals is making its way through Mexico to reach America before President Trump takes office. Who wants to bet Trump is like, hey, what's up with this lady president in Mexico? You going to do anything about this or no? Let me know. I look forward to planning my response to your crazy. But yeah, this is a crap ton of people. I don't want to play this whole thing, but some of it. It almost looks like that one time I went down to Revolution Avenue there in Tijuana. Whew, there was a crap ton of people down there. It was a lot. It was a trip. Kind of scary, too. It was fun. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says border wall sale that sparked Republican firestorm is on hold. They were, I think, trying to buy stuff, and for some reason they're being held back. It was a really long article that once I got done reading it, I'm like, this didn't tell me any of the stuff that I wanted. This one did, though. Trump files an amicus brief to immediately stop the Biden sale of border wall. Says conduct is possibly criminal. Now we'll see if this amicus brief actually gets played out. The courts take it up, whatever. Texas and Missouri filed a motion earlier this week in a district court in Southern District of Texas to hold a status conference to determine if the government is in breach of the court's permanent injunction from earlier this year. What? You mean the Biden administration's doing illegal stuff? What? That never happens. National Border Patrol Council, which represents about 18,000 Border Patrol agents, they endorsed former Rep. Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence, who President-elect Donald Trump nominated for the position. So that's pretty cool. She's getting pretty raving endorsements. So is Mr. Hegseth. His Senate confirmation hearing is scheduled for January 14th, public. It's going to be fun. I don't know. If it's if I can, I might. And I got some stuff I want to probably try to talk to you guys about here in the next week. Work-wise, I've got a bit of a conundrum in front of me. It's funny, work, and I'm not going to get too into it right now, but work is presenting a neat opportunity for me to actually do something cool, like really cool, and it's going to require more effort of me if I want to do that. But at the same time, that job doesn't actually pay as much as this job, right? So it's kind of like, do I want to just put all my weight on this floating platform I call Dan Radio Style / On the Fringe? I might need to. So I got a lot of things to think about. Again, cool opportunity. From a professional standpoint, man, like if I was only working my normal job, I'd be all over this. I'd be stoked. This is like not a chance of a lifetime, but this is super cool. Like to be a part of something fun. But it might eat up a lot of my time. So we'll see. We'll see. We got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about in the coming days. I just had my first meeting with my new boss today, and he's awesome. I'm stoked. Got a cool team. Like, I mean, again, it's like all the stuff you would want, just... yeah, I got to do more now. I don't want to do extra. House reports finds no evidence Trump agreed with rioters who called for Pence to be hung. There you go. They just made some shit up and, finally found a judge. It's like, no, we're going to actually look at evidence, not just what you want to put in as evidence and then ignore everything that the guy is saying to defend himself. No, I'm not doing that. A state prosecution of Donald Trump on election interference charges in Georgia may be able to continue. Despite his impending inauguration, a lawyer for Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis signaled in a court filing that urged an appeal court to reject President-elect's request to throw out this case based on presidential immunity. What's funny is this. Breaking news happened. The Georgia Court of Appeals ruled on Thursday that Fulton County District Attorney Fannie, not Fani, I don't give a shit how you're supposed to say it. No, fat-ass Fani Willis and her office. What are you thinking about? What are you be talking about, Willis? Them. They're going to be, her office should be removed from the 2020 election interference case. Period. Done. The judge is like, nope. In a 2-1 decision, a panel of judges, all GOP appointees, concluded that Willis's one-time romantic relationship with former special prosecutor Nathan Wade constituted a conflict of interest that merited her dismissal from the case. Bye-bye, fat-ass Fanny. Bye-bye. Nathan may like smacking that ass, but we don't got to no more. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm just saying. Just saying. Sidney Powell's a rock star. I love the fact that she's gotten through the hard part. I don't like her new hairdo. No offense, Sidney. That's a pretty awesome Christmas outfit you got on. I'm going to give you that 100% because no one can rock a turtleneck like you. I don't know if I like the hair, though. You had better hair before, I feel like. But whatever. You gotta move through these things. And it's not nice ever to say that to a woman. I know that. I'm praying to God she doesn't actually watch my show. Whatever. Here's some cool stuff that Sidney said.
The whole media corporate government structure has been lying to us for at least 2 decades that I can count to think that we are blue when we are actually all red. I mean, I still think in 2020, Trump probably won every state except New York had we had an honest vote. And I think even this time, I would venture to guess his win was 6% greater than what they really were because there was still a massive amount of fraud in the 2024 election. None of that's acceptable until we get paper ballots hand counted and real citizen voter ID. We're going to have a problem, and we've got 2 years to get that done.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that all over the place because, 2020 was obviously super bad. 2024, they obviously cheated. We can't have any more cheating. We want a real, legit election and find out who should be in office and who shouldn't be anymore. And we want the ability to remove these deep state bastards, especially people like Hakeem Jeffries. So, good on her. And do people wear turtlenecks still? I don't know. I don't live in a cold place. Maybe that's the problem. I've been skiing. That was the last time I had a turtleneck. It was back when I used to ski. Made sense then. I don't know. Maybe it still makes sense if you live in a cold place. Don't know. Live in California. I'm kind of spoiled a little bit. Pay for the weather, but it's I'm spoiled nonetheless. ABC's George Stephanopoulos was repeatedly warned not to use the word rape by the producer, but said it anyway. Needless to say, Disney has settled, I believe $16 million, has been awarded to Trump or agreed to be given to Trump. As I try to make up words, it seems. George Stephanopoulos signed this new deal with ABC News, though, amid this Trump lawsuit. So they hired him back. He actually reminds me of the owner of the Italian restaurant. And I don't want him to know that. So family, please don't tell him that I said that. Because he does look, you got to admit though, I know some of his family watches. Like, you got to admit, he looks a little bit like Sal, right? Doesn't he? Kind of, a little bit? I don't know, whatever. I love Sal. Love Sal dearly. I would never say that to his face because that would really hurt his feelings probably. If he has any. His family would appreciate that last joke. President-elect Trump on Wednesday encouraged Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to keep trying after the Congresswoman lost the vote to be the top Democrat on the House Oversight and Accountability Committee in the upcoming Congress. Trump said, quote, "Really too bad that AOC lost the battle for the leadership seat in the Democratic Party. She should keep trying. Someday, she will be successful." Now, she responded, which is kind of funny, her response anyways. She said, "Damn, you know it's bad when even Trump is feeling bad for me." That was actually pretty funny. So good on both of them, right? Back and forth. Good on you, Ocasio, for taking it in the chin. I was going to say something else. GOP lawmakers urged Trump to replace all U.S. attorneys. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So we'll see what happens with all of that nonsense. But yeah, a group of Republican House members calling for U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi to replace all 93 U.S. attorneys with interim replacements, according to a letter shared with Semaphore. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If we let them play it the way they want, then they might be able to, like, the people will bail out, and then the next Soros person in line will come up and sort of be there in a while, and they're like, no, let's just get rid of all of them, put our own people in, and then we'll worry about doing it properly after. We just want to make sure we can trust. Now, I bring this up now because the push is talking about the big thing that they're trying to do right now, the next pandemic. They want one. They desperately want one. There's no question about the fact that they definitely want one. And they're going to probably do everything they can in their power to create a pandemic, sickness. One of the funny things that we know about viruses right now anyways, we didn't know this before, and many of us lost our channels for talking about this stuff, but one thing we know now is that things like ivermectin, things like hydroxychloroquine, statistically, studies done have actual help with viruses. And that's what they do. Parasites and viruses, they help with. That's just what the medicines were for. People won awards for them, all that great stuff. What the problem is for the deep state anyways, that they're trying to do some more viral stuff. Now, again, if they do this antivirus thing, that could be really scary. But if they just try to put out like this H5N1, the bird flu thing that's past animals, we've got a story to kind of cover about that with the push. That was manufactured, it seems. Yeah, they made it more capable of spreading. And yeah, we were doing that one here in the United States. Funny how that's leaked out somehow. They're not saying there's a leak. Just seems to be the same sickness that's floating around right now that they're desperately trying to get us to make a lot of noise about. Now, again, I'm bringing it up because I want you to be aware of the fact that they're doing this to you. I also bring it up because I don't think they're going to win, but they're going to try. So twc.health, that's the wellness company, twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF. It's going to get you to this wonderful place. Supplements, they've got supplements all over the place. They've got spike detox, and they've got a spike support formula. So if you're somebody that rolled up your sleeve or lives with somebody that rolled up their sleeve and you're worried about the spike proteins floating around, that actually helps. They're bonded. They're built to bond specifically to the spike and then help remove it from your system. So they're very powerful in that regards. They got stuff for longevity. They've got restful sleep. They got healthy heart. They've got all sorts of great stuff. Bone and joint support, digestion, metabolism, all sorts of awesome supplements. Seriously, look into the supplements. There's a lot of great ones. They're priced very well. But the med kits, the contagion kit in particular, and there's a bunch. They've got a crazy med kit. I'm not going to pull. Oh, they got a radiation emergency kit now? Damn. You guys keep coming up with crazy cool stuff. What is this? I've got to look what's in here. I've just never even seen this one before. So they've got Prussian Blue. It's a generic radiogardase. Used to treat internal contamination by radioactive cesium. Wow, that's crazy. They've got this other thing, this antiemetic. Wow. Odinestrone. Medication used to provide rapid relief from acute nausea and vomiting. So, wow. So, for any of you guys that are worried about radiation sickness, this is pretty powerful. Potassium iodide is kind of a fan. A normal one fills up your thyroid with iodide, and iodine is it is radioactive, but like not dangerously so. It's I think an alpha particle, which just about anything stops it. So not not the worst thing. And if you fill up your thyroid with that, and then you get exposed to radioactivity, the radioactivity doesn't have any more room inside the thyroid, and that's where it always kind of accumulates. One of the reasons why you would typically use potassium iodide in the case of radiation sickness, though I am not an expert. Apparently, they got a Geiger counter, too. What the frick? That is wild. I've never seen that one before. I'm sorry. But I don't know how many of you guys live in threats of radiation, but if you do. But one of the ones I'm really fond of is the Contagion Kit. This has all sorts of cool stuff. And this is all the different things that it actually helps with. Inner ear infections, influenza, like lice, literally, like rheumatoid arthritis, sinus infections, all that stuff. They've got ivermectin, 25 tablets, hydroxychloroquine, 20 tablets, azithromycin, 12 tablets. It's a generic Z-Pack, basically. Generic Tamiflu, 10 tablets of that. And they've got this budesonide generic version of it, or generic Pulmicort. And they've got the nebulizer that comes with it. But that's an upper respiratory. It helps open you up. It even works for asthmatics. So it's a very, very powerful set of ingredients. Now, here's the thing that's cool about this, too. I know it's like $324, Dan. First off, there is a prescription. A doctor's involved in this, part of the cost. Second, you're getting a bunch of meds at actually reasonably good prices. Other cool thing is if within 2 years you need to get a refill on this, you can actually get it refilled for lower price. They've got refills up to 2 years. You got a refill. So you buy one of these kits, one of you guys gets the flu or something, and you need to refill it, hit them back up, get that refill. They'll mail it to you. Now you got enough for another chance, right? Now, they say this is good for one person. I'm going to let you make that call, right? I think having one of these at least in a household is an amazing idea. If both of you get sick at the same time, might be problematic, but I honestly, I don't know, from the experiences I've had, especially using ivermectin, that's probably enough to get you through it, to be honest. But something to consider. A lot of you guys have different strokes for different folks. Some of us have different health issues, right? So twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. Emergency kits, field emergency kit, med replenishment. So that's what I was talking about, where it's a slightly discounted version of the refill. So you can get it up to, I think, within 2 years. And there's a giant-ass disclaimer. I'm not going to read all that, but yeah, a lot of great products. Go to twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. Put some precautions in place so you can make sure you're protected and you don't let the deep state decide how that's going to play out. And we don't want them having it. America First Legal's lawsuit against CISA further exposes deep state reliance on the censorship industrial complex to monitor social media narratives on COVID-19. So any of us that was actually talking about COVID-19, CISA was calling us out, and then they would shut us down, shadow ban us, whatever. Like, it still cracks me up on the YouTube channel I have. It cracks me up because I know I'm heavily shadow banned. Like, my growth rate's ridiculous. It's just funny. It's just funny. And it is what it is. I don't really care. Like, Rumble and BitChute are really where all my audience is. And then I got, like, smatterings of people in these other places. But whatever. I guess, well, Odyssey, I think, saw even more people than YouTube does for me right now, which is kind of cool. I like Odyssey. Odyssey's fun. I've talked about them a lot. Odyssey's a lot of fun. Whatever the case is, you want to do these things to help make sure you are in the know. And, yeah, don't let these bastards get you down or get you cornered or whatever. Louisiana residents become the first American to become critically ill, which means they died with the H5N1 bird flu as the pandemic fears rise. Of course, Daily Mail is pushing this story. Why? Because that's what Daily Mail does. So we've got Louisiana, right? First person died there. Now we got California. Governor declares state of emergency over bird flu. Gavin Doofsbaum Newsom. He has proclaimed a state of emergency to streamline and expedite the state's response to avian influenza A, H5N1, commonly known as bird flu. Yeah. And, well, we're not done there. I got one more state that sucks. And it's right here. Wisconsin. I mean, the state doesn't suck, but how you guys handle this COVID stuff and the fact that it's trying to freak you all out. And I do know you have, obviously, a lot of stuff going on up there in the milk department, cows and whatnot. So, yeah, a lot of trying to cause fear, trying to get us to kill off mass amounts of animals. So a lot of things are happening right now. Can't exactly trust the bad guys, but whatever the case is. So, a little bit of mind-blowing action going on here. Flashback to 2023. General Kirillov claimed Russia's military obtained samples of deadly avian influenza, also known as bird flu, from a conquered U.S. DoD lab in Kherson region that could jump species with a 40% kill rate in humans. This was actually done in Ukraine. I thought this one was maybe in the U.S. I was remembering incorrectly, but whatever. I think I was thinking of the CR, and they're talking about funding biolabs here in this country. But yeah, he basically said this thing was made to jump species, which we seem to be seeing, right? It's jumping from chickens to cows to people, it seems. Weird. Can't possibly be the same thing, could it? Right, you get it. You've been around the block more than once, I hope. You might have been born at night, but not last night, baby, right? As Kid Rock would say. Louisiana and Wisconsin are reporting serious cases of bird flu, and California just declared a state of emergency. Let's play this small thing.
Как и в 2019 году, приступили к подготовке к новой пандемии путем осуществления поиска мутаций вирусов. Не исключаем применение Соединенными Штатами так называемых оборонительных технологий в наступательных целях, а также в целях глобального управления путем создания кризисных ситуаций биологического характера.
So basically, whoever the hell this dude is, Russian somebody or other probably, Igor Kirillov. Oh, so that's him. This is the guy that got blown up too, if I remember, or killed. Didn't he get killed? Something happened to this dude. He got killed. This guy, yeah, they killed this guy yesterday. Yeah, there you go. And he was talking about how Deep State's going to use this to try to control the world. Deep State took him out. That's kind of how they roll. Obviously, that pissed off Putin too. Symptoms of bird flu are conveniently similar to the symptoms of COVID-19. I'm going to say it different, Melissa. I'm going to say symptoms of bird flu are conveniently similar to the symptoms of the flu. The flu. Fuck COVID. COVID was just like the flu. We didn't have any flus, though. We just had COVID. Yeah. Milder symptoms includes a cough, sore throat, a runny or stuffy nose, muscle or body aches, headaches, fatigue, shortness of breath, or difficulty breathing. Do you guys remember NyQuil's little slogan? Nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine? Yeah, sounds just the same, doesn't it? Nah, it's probably just a coincidence. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Come on. This is, millennials surviving 9/11, a global economic crisis, 3 wars, And then now they're about to try to do it again. This is pretty damn funny. It's an Ace Ventura bit, and I love it. Check it out. One of my favorite movies. So stupid and so friggin' funny. Yeah, loved it. NC Supreme Court bucks the trend. They find COVID caused physical loss to restaurants. What this basically means is the North Carolina Supreme Court last week, they became the second state's high court to find that an insurer owes coverage for business losses during the shutdown. You see, the insurance companies didn't want to have to pay for it because, well, the government told us to do it. That's why they have insurance, in case something like this happens. So now the Supreme Court of North Carolina and one other has said, no, y'all got to pay these insurance claims. This is going to hopefully break some of these shit insurance companies. I look forward to finding out if that actually occurs. We'll see in time. U.S.-made technology continues to fall into Russian hands in Ukraine as key national security office remains critically underfunded, according to a report from Senate Democrats released Wednesday. We have crap technology, and Musk's even talked about that. And so we can't even tell if we're selling weapons or other things, components to Russia that they would then use for missiles that they would then possibly use against us. We literally have no way to know and continue to sell stuff to Russia that we probably don't want them to have. I mean, whatever. I mean, we don't, because right now we're at war with them. We shouldn't be, but U.S. cybersecurity watchdog CISA is telling senior American government officials and politicians to immediately switch to end-to-end encrypted messaging, allowing intrusions at major American telecoms blamed on Chinese hackers. So here's the thing, and I don't understand. CISA's been spying on us. CISA's been responsible for the censorship. So now CISA's coming out and giving advice that many people would be like, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you want to have end-to-end encryption. No, they don't, because they're hacking your phone. Okay, so here's just to explain how encryption works. I've done this before. I'll do it again. And it's people that are way smarter than me when it comes to this stuff that I've learned from. Encryption is meant to stop somebody. So say I send an encrypted message from my phone to an individual. What encryption's meant to do is keep somebody in the middle, somebody that just grabs it out of the ether as you're sending it through, right through the cell phone towers or whatever, grab it from there and be able to read it. That's what encryption's for. Now, many of you are like, right? Isn't that what you want? No, that's not how these people get your data anymore. They don't need to. What they're doing here is they're hacking the phone. So here's the thing. Your encryption key exists on the device that you're sending. The other encryption key exists on the place that you're sending the message to. The way that the deep state or China or whoever, hackers, is all they got to do is get control of any one of those two sources. They get control of any one of those two sources, well, they've got the encryption key. They're already they're inside the DMZ, as we would say. They are inside your system. They've already got the encryption keys. Having encrypted information doesn't help at that point. So China's been hacking phones. Once you're in the phone, you got past their encryption. Their encryption doesn't matter anymore. Chinese National Cyber Center says U.S. hacks stole trade secrets from tech firms. Kind of cool. We're hacking them back, trying to get even, if you will. Don't get mad, get even. And we're literally trying to steal trade secrets from China, which I find interesting. I would assume it's more on their probably missile technology or weapons technology and or nuclear, just to see how far along they are, would be my guess. But supposedly U.S. intelligence agencies were doing this. Not sure who or what, but will we ever know exactly who that is? Probably not. SCOTUS takes on TikTok sale or ban the law, the sale or ban, right? SCOTUS is actually going to hear oral arguments on January 10th over whether the law to force the sale of TikTok from its parent company or face a ban is constitutional. I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go on this one. I don't like the idea of banning products. I know once they ban a product, there's others on the list, and Telegram's definitely one of them. That's going to make my news polling a little more tricky. I could still do it. I've done it before, but Telegram definitely helps. It's a great place to get a lot of awesome information. Anschlag auf Weihnachtsmarkt. I don't know how to speak German at all, obviously. I don't even want to keep trying. These words are painful. None of them. I don't even know how to say any of these words. Autos. I think I can say that one properly. So yeah, let me read this German article to you really quick. You guys don't mind, right? No, yeah, long story short, they had a bad shooting out there. I'm glad I remembered that from what the story originally was. But yeah, there was a really, really bad shooting. They're kind of trying to call it a terrorist event. So yeah, they're trying to freak people out over in Germany, which is very deep state. Very, 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 very deep state. Germany, France, us, Canada, England. Major places that are having huge problems right now politically, and they're falling apart. Deep state, big time, falling apart. So yeah, now they're trying to do some of that terror stuff so they can, get you to look over there when really you need to zig when they're about to zag, kind of thing, or you need to zag when they're zagging, but they're trying to make you think they're going to zig, so you're confused. Putin says Russia is ready to compromise with Trump on the Ukrainian war. He says the compromise in possible talks with President Trump ending the war and had no conditions for starting talks with Ukrainian authorities. Interesting. Now, he does say one of the key things, Putin does, I guess, one of the key things is, here's the thing. Zelensky is technically the president, but he's foregone elections. He needs to have another election, and they need to maybe vote him back in if Putin's going to continue to talk to him. But otherwise, Putin considers Zelensky to basically be persona non grata. You're not even really in charge. You're keeping people from being able to vote for who they want. So not having it, but it is what it is. Russian bombardment targets Kyiv after Ukraine fires U.S.-made missiles across the border. So they finally kind of got even with them. They hit him with a short-range missile. Did some pretty significant damage, shut down a lot of heating and stuff like that. Apparently, one person was killed and 12 others were wounded. So, again, I want this war to stop. I don't want Russians or Ukrainians to continue. I ended up having to take a cab, not home, back to my car. I literally, the past 5 trips I've been on, 4 of them have sucked. And it happened this time. We got fogged. Fog was strong here in Orange County, California. And we couldn't land there, so they flew us up to Ontario. It's 45 minutes away. And my car is at John Wayne, Orange County Airport. And so I had to take a cab to get down there. That was not cheap, by the way. So yeah, we freaking sanity. That's what it is. It's what it is, people. I'm just telling you. So Ukraine unveils new Trident laser weapon that can take out aircraft over a mile away. First off, this is stupid. I mean, it works. That's great. That's awesome. Laser technology. Woo! Yay! Mile away? Dude, please. Most missiles fired on targets are fired from what they call beyond visual range. Right? This is not... military people out there, tell me I'm wrong, but a mile? Up to a mile, this laser works? I mean, might work for maybe slow-moving missiles that are coming in or drones. Yeah, that'll work. But a hypersonic missile? No. Moving too fast. I don't think you'll be able to get a laser focused on it or focused on it long enough to be able to do the damage you want. Maybe. And most planes aren't going to fly within a mile of you, dude. And if they are, and they know where your stupid laser is because you can't move it around probably that easily, then they'll blow it up. Whatever the case is, this is awesome, this Dragonfire laser weapon. Zelensky's trying to make it sound like we got a lot going on. And they said that they can shoot down planes at an altitude of more than 2 kilometers, about 1.2 miles with this laser. An altitude of 2 kilometers. That's, 2,000 meters. Like they said, about 1.2 miles, which is, I'm making numbers up, about 7,000 feet. 7,000 feet up. Planes fly at 35,000 feet. Or higher, if you're military. So, what are you going to do at 7,000 feet? Who the hell's flying that low? Again, drones, maybe. This thing is just not... This is not the thing that panacea that they think it is. It's just not going to work. Biden DOJ opposes court decision allowing Derek Chauvin's chance to examine George Floyd's heart. Of course, Biden DOJ does not want him doing that because, in all honesty, he's probably going to find out that George Floyd did have a bad heart and was on drugs and had a lot of reasons for why he probably died, not related to Chauvin having his knee on his upper back. It's not his neck. It was his upper back. Pictures that they did not want getting out, by the way, but we definitely shared them way back in the day. Probably one of the many reasons why I got booted. All right, we're doing all right considering I missed a day. Hochul expands National Guard presence on New York subways. Trying to get people to ride subways again because, yeah, I mean, now you need Daniel Penny to run around with you. So in case someone's doing stuff they shouldn't be, you have someone to protect you. Subways are dangerous, and people are not riding them anymore, and their revenue's gone way down. So Kathy Hochul's trying to get people back on the subways. Former top aide to New York Mayor Eric Adams, accused of bribery and money laundering. She stepped down recently. Again, a lot of people around Eric Adams are getting busted. I'm frankly, as much as I kind of like Eric Adams and where he's going right now, I'm pretty sure he's got corruption around him all over the place. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he was like Trump, and he thought he could trust the people around him, and all these people were just milking the system, and he just didn't know it, didn't care, whatever. Whatever the case is, a lot of people are falling around him. We'll see if that continues. Who knows? FBI has raided the home of Los Angeles Democrat deputy mayor, who police say is likely the source of a bomb threat at City Hall earlier this year. That's big-time illegal. Federal agents searched Brian Williams' home on Tuesday in connection with the bomb threat. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass's office confirmed this on Wednesday. So again, more potentially bad people being taken down. Now, speaking of going after people, whether right, wrong, or indifferent, one of the greatest mayors, I would say, some would say, in New York, but Mr. Giuliani, fantastic guy. He's got a contempt hearing coming up on January 3rd following his failure to turn over his assets mandated in a defamation judgment worth $148 million. I actually kind of think I kind of wonder if he's like trying to just pass time until Trump can get into office and maybe pardon him, because I think Trump would pardon Giuliani, and this was definitely a federal thing. New York may be going after him, but what he did was in response to the elections and all that, which is a federal thing. Obviously, Georgia was part of that, and he was hitting each state individually. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this goes, and the fact that he's still keeping them from getting his money is pretty friggin' awesome, in my opinion. And finally, Andrew Cuomo moves to sue sexual harassment accuser Charlotte Bennett for defamation. And all I want to say that I think is really important on this, and this is to anybody out there that's potentially considering trying to go after somebody for harassment or something, or harassment, as you're supposed to call it. If you're an employee in a company, I have to do this training every year. If you're an employee in a company and somebody accuses you of something, you're not allowed to retaliate. If you retaliate, that's a fireable offense. You can't retaliate. Many would say, well, Dan, he's retaliating. Yes, but he's not working for the city anymore. So, ladies or men, if you think you're going to go after somebody, even though it's not true, and you know that, maybe they won't fight back while they still work there, but if they leave, they can sue your ass. Defamation is a big deal. And so this little sweetheart, I would have flirted with her too. It's kind of cute. Whatever. I don't like her eye makeup, but whatever. We'll let that go for the moment, right? She's also wearing a turtleneck. What the frick, man? Get out of here with your turtlenecks. Probably like half my audience has like 14 turtlenecks. I'm going to get some really shitty hate mail coming up. Be like, dude, I have like 40 turtlenecks. Stop making fun of me. Sorry. Whatever the case is. He's suing this chick. I don't know if she's true. I mean, if she's true, I want him to lose the case. But if she made this up, yeah, I want her to lose. I want it big time. Big time. I want to like broadcast it on the sky so we can watch it live. So we'll see what happens. A lot of things going down in the world, folks. We're making a difference. Big time. We are the media, and we are the government. Don't forget that. You're in charge of your life. You're in charge of your freedom. You are a free sovereign being because you realize you're a free sovereign being, which means it doesn't matter what other people say around you. You're a free and sovereign being. That is what matters. Remember that. It's in your head. If you let them be in charge of you, that's your bad. If you realize you're in charge, you'd be surprised how your life kind of starts to play out. Sometimes the government's there trying to do their thing, but they don't necessarily always mess with you. Consider it. I love you guys. A lot of great stuff going on. Probably doing a show on Saturday. We'll see. That's my plan right now. Try to get something crapped out tomorrow. But yeah, a lot going on in the world, and you guys are making a huge difference. Keep it up. My Ripple Makers, I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.